This week, flashy folding phones, fashion face-off, and fantastic physio. Back in 2016, we visited the Cybathlon in Zurich, a competition where people with limited mobility competed against each other using some of the most sophisticated physical augmentation devices on the planet. On trial were bionic arms, robotic prosthetics, and exoskeletons, all being used to tackle some of the most challenging tasks faced by people with disabilities. And a couple of years ago, we saw an exoskeleton helping workers to lift heavy items at an American hardware store. And now, one company in France is using the tech to rehabilitate and give paraplegic patients a chance to walk again. LJ Rich went to visit.
Donc à la base, j'ai un problème neurologique à la moelle épinière qui a été opéré à 3 reprises, dont une erreur médicale à l'âge de 6 ans. Et ensuite, on m'a diagnostiqué une maladie auto-immune à l'âge de 19 ans, et là qui impactait beaucoup mes bras. Et petit à petit, j'ai dû utiliser le fauteuil jusqu'à l'utiliser complètement depuis 2 ans.
Florian's tried several exoskeletons, but liked this one so much, she's now working for the company. It's a practically hands-free exo, so as well as walking, she can do this. The device aims to improve movement for people with total or partial paralysis, and after 18 months of trials, the latest version is finally ready to sell to rehabilitation centres.
The design that we're trying is about 6 to 7 years of work, and they're hoping to release a personal exo in a couple of years or so, and that's currently secret. It's behind me. I might take a peek. Yep. Oh yes.
This small remote activates the suit. Leaning forward at the right speed and angle activates an accelerometer on the back. This starts the system walking.
The more you use it, is it becoming easier, or was it easy straight away?
It's easy because we have not pain, not fatigue, and it's better for my arms because and shoulders because we have no crutches. Déjà au départ, mon souhait d'essayer un exosquelette était vraiment de faire avancer la science et la technologie dans ce domaine. Et aussi c'est un espoir pour moi, parce que pour moi ma vie elle n'est pas que assise, parce que je ne suis pas complètement paraplégique. Et je suis sûre que je peux récupérer un jour ou l'autre, pas totalement mais à moitié. Et donc du coup c'est la possibilité que donne cet exosquelette. Parce que y a des possibilités sûrement de récupération, donc on va le prouver petit à petit, mais notamment pour les personnes qui ont une paraplégie incomplète.
The company are keen for me to experience this from the inside, and so am I.
So in order to try the device, I need to be measured for it.
These measurements are essential to calculate the recommended gait for someone of my height and weight. It's a heavy computing task, so calculations are actually done on a server outside the suit. The results are then sent to the exoskeleton. There's also a surprising amount of computing going on inside the device. As well as the basic form of motion, how it should behave, the exo can make its own decisions. So if something unexpected happens, say my foot hits the ground too late or if someone pushes it, it works out how to respond.
Lean forward and push up. Ah! Whoa! That's amazing.
I can even lean sideways and crouch. I can also change the direction I move in by leaning my body whilst walking.
I'm going to aim towards the right. Oh, I can feel it going that way. Okay.
The startup's grown to around 50 employees, many motivated by family members who are or will soon be unable to walk.
So one of the key things we are working on at the moment is allowing stroke patients to get inside the exo and retrain their walk with the exo. They slowly regain their ability to move. So you've got to tune the exo down in the assistance it brings over time.
The company clearly has ambitions beyond this, its first exoskeleton, and Florian's looking forward to shaping its future.
C'est le fait que ce qui est intéressant aussi de travailler chez Wandercraft, c'est que moi non seulement je peux le tester moi en interne, et donc du coup ça me permet aussi de me lever et ça me fait du bien, et en plus de les aider à développer le produit.
Brilliant. That was LJ Rich in Paris. Now, during our Christmas special last year, we showed you the first hands-on with a new flexible phone. Created by Chinese firm Royole, its first phone has been 5 years in the making. One of its tricks is to unfold, creating a tablet. Back in January, I caught up with the firm's boss, Bill Liu, and asked him how he'd managed to beat the likes of Samsung and LG to create the world's first bendable phone.
We focused on the flexible displays because it's so hard, it's so difficult to make it happen. From the technology innovation point of view, you have to do a lot of innovations from the fundamental materials, process, device design, circuit design, and then later product design. So that's why we invested $1.7 billion in Shenzhen, China, to build up the 4.5 million square feet production facility for the mass production of the flexible display.
But I'd love to know whether the main problems are the fact that the connections break, or the main problems is that you can't get the colours right on the bendy bit as the other bit, or obviously you need a replacement for glass, you can't have glass.
The most challenging part is you have to manufacture millions of transistors, tiny circuits on top of super thin flexible film. And the film is only several micrometers. It's thinner than our hair diameter. And it has to be very, very precise positioning.
At the moment, the Royole FlexPi is only available to buy in China, but they're not the only ones going bendy. Take a look at this tablet that folds twice to create a phone. Its makers, Xiaomi, say that it's only an engineering model at the moment, though. Another Chinese firm, Lenovo, has also previously teased that it's working on a similar product. For Royole, though, this isn't just about wearables and phones. Royole's vision is that flexible electronics will change the way we interact with the smart home and technology generally.
That is the age of Internet of Things. So flexible displays, flexible sensors, flexible electronics break the limitation of the form factor of the surface. And eventually, all of these things will be smart, will be intelligent. That's what we see the flexible display's future.
Now, we've heard rumours of Samsung making a flexible phone for some time, and this week we finally got our answer at their latest launch. Here's Jen Copestake.
In a big surprise, Samsung not only unveiled a folding phone, but announced it would go on sale in 2 months' time at a staggering cost of just under $2,000. Called the Galaxy Fold, the phone opens up to make a 7.3-inch tablet display capable of running 3 apps at once. It includes a new type of hidden hinge, which they say can handle thousands of folds and unfolds, with a battery on each side to extend running time. The eye-watering price seems unusual, if not risky, considering the company said the cost of its S9 phones had led to lower than expected sales. But they say this is a luxury item and a new category of device. Also launched were the S10 series phones, the mid-range S10, cheaper S10e, and the S10 Plus. Each new model of phone comes with a super wide camera, so you can get 123 degrees of vision. Basically the same as a human eye if you want that. The camera also allows you to use some artificial intelligence capabilities to improve the way you take photos. You can still unlock the phone with facial recognition, but Samsung have done away with the iris scanner. And they say this was to maximize the end-to-end display, which seems to be all the rage these days. The screen is maximized with a hole-punch camera and features a new security option. In-screen fingerprint sensors are becoming more and more popular, and Samsung says they've got something unique called an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. It's different to a typical optical sensor which takes a photograph of your thumb. Instead, it measures the contours of your thumb. They say this will make it even more secure against spoofing, so it's not possible for someone to take a photocopy of your thumb and use it to open your device. One more surprise was the unveiling of Samsung's 5G ready phone. We didn't get a price, but we can guess it won't be cheap. A 5G ready phone might give Samsung a strategic jump on competitors like Apple, but with widespread rollout of the network not expected anytime soon, they probably won't be flying off the shelves. Of course, we're going to hear much more about 5G and all kinds of other phones next week when Click is at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona.
Hello and welcome to the Week in Tech. It was the week that politicians in the UK branded Facebook digital gangsters in a report into fake news. The Culture, Media and Sport Committee accused the company of obstructing its inquiry and failing to tackle Russian interference in elections. Facebook said it has already made changes, while Mark Zuckerberg is to meet the UK Culture Secretary. Meanwhile, Microsoft said it has discovered hacking attempts against democratic institutions, think tanks and non-profit organisations across Europe. It's offered its tailored cybersecurity services to affected countries. And Google admitted making an error in not revealing that one of its home alarm systems contained a microphone. It was only revealed when an update was announced to make the Nest Guard devices voice-controlled. Remember the self-lacing smartphone-controlled shoes from Nike? Well, just days after launch, updates to the app for Android users have stopped the smart capabilities from working. Firmware updates bricking shoes, what a time to be alive. Drivers in Australia will soon be able to make their licence plates a little more exciting, thanks to emojis. It was announced this week that from the 1st of March, they'll be able to add one of 5 emojis to their registration. Insert eye roll here. And finally, we all know that you should never leave dogs in hot cars. So car maker Tesla has introduced dog mode to its vehicles. When enabled, it will regulate the air conditioning as well as displaying a message on the car's dashboard, letting passers-by know that the dog's human will be back soon. Good boys.
It's all very well seeing what clothes look like on a model, but if you can't get your hands on them in the flesh, then you probably want to know what they're going to look like on you.
Well, at this year's London Fashion Week, thanks to some new technology, that's exactly what some members of the public are going to be able to experience, seeing themselves model some apparel from clothing brand Hanger.
Here at London College of Fashion, the perfect setup has been created. The lighting's right, the scene is right. This is where 50 participants have come to have their faces scanned, so that their image can replace that of the models on a catwalk to see what the clothes would actually look like on them.
So naturally I wanted a go too. Firstly, I had to tie my hair back though, which I have to admit did instantly stop me from feeling like me.
And I'm not meant to talk.
Using Super Personal's face swap technology is speedy and simple, although it helps to have a willing volunteer to actually scan you. The results are broken down by neural networks that understand each little movement to be able to recreate your face on a believable moving image.
It was very important for us that the process was very simple, so it only takes 10-15 seconds to actually go through the registration. And also the results come fast, so the whole processing takes only 30 minutes right now.
But of course, we all come in different shapes and sizes, so the app needs to cater for that. I'm certainly not the build of a catwalk model.
For this project, only a few models' figures have been tracked, so it'll choose the one closest to me or the other volunteers, although the eventual aim is to create accurate avatars based on any measurements.
This is pretty impressive. The quality of the image, even when moving, really is so realistic. But the thing that really seems odd to me isn't the fact that I'm wearing clothes I would never normally put on, but it's the way I'm moving. I can tell that's not my body language and they're not my mannerisms. And that's making it really quite peculiar to watch.
We believe that this technology is very useful for online shopping, for users to see how they look in different clothes, especially for clothes that they never dare to wear, or they want to just see how they would look in something a bit different, but also how they would look in something very classic that they've never tried wearing, and generally exploring more options.
And whilst I can totally see the benefits, I wasn't quite convinced on this change of image.
VidCon 2019! Yeah!
Last weekend, the world's largest convention for online video makers, VidCon, was held in London for the first time. And it was crammed full of social media stars. To give us a taste of the events, here's your guide, YouTuber Savan Gandecha.
Hi, I'm Savan, and I run a YouTube channel called Savan Films. The videos I post focus a lot about my autism and my experiences. Hey everyone, and welcome to a brand new autism vlog series. When I tell people I have autism, most people are surprised because apparently I don't look like someone who has it. There's no look. What do you feel is the correct way to talk about someone having autism? Treat me the same as any person you treat as a human being. So I've been waiting for VidCon London to come to the UK since last year. I was really excited to come and see my friends, meet other creators, potentially collab with them in future. It's a lot of fun in general. I've always wanted something like this. It's a space where content creators can find out about the latest tools to make videos and test them out. Hey everyone, and welcome to Savan Films, and also welcome to BBC Click. Most of the vendors here know that if you want to attract this crowd, set up an Instagram-worthy photo op. I'm gonna try this. I've always been the creative type, even though that in the past it's been like suppressed. I see YouTube as a hobby, but also see it now as an outlet to create what I want to create. I feel that it's allowed me to be open to the world about what I have. VidCon is also where the fans can meet the people they follow online. Many of the social media stars here have hundreds of thousands of followers.
Hello there, and let me be the first to say, welcome back.
Why are you talking like that?
Okay. I'm with my good friend Dean Dobbs. He's a content creator on YouTube. He's part of a comedy duo called Jack and Dean. How many subscribers do you have?
I don't know exact, but almost about 700,000, something like that. I put it in, there you go. No worries. It's really crazy though, like there's tons of people who come here. Crazy because I have to like try and be the best version of myself all the time, because, you know, I wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for just people, invisible people on the other end of the computer watching it. So it's a pretty great thing.
It feels more like I belong here. They treat me like a creator, professional who's actually doing things. Despite the circumstances I have at the moment, I am trying my absolute best to do things. Woo! Whilst I'm happy to be here, it also presents some challenges being autistic. With my autism, it can be very overwhelming. It's just so much sensory process, various different noises, smells, brightness.
Hello, lovely people.
So I've just met Jessica. You are
a disabled YouTuber
as well? Yes.
Indeed. Yeah, my channel's all about how you can live a fun and fabulous and happy life despite having disabilities and chronic illness and deafness, all that kind of thing.
Pointing out that I don't sound deaf is probably the first thing that most people do when I meet them.
The media world can seem quite difficult to break into, especially for disabled people. Especially if you have a chronic illness, how are you going to start as a runner, you know, and build your way up to doing something? Whereas when you're a YouTuber, you're straight in there, first day, you're making a video and you're putting it out there.
We've become more open about our issues. The millennial generation grew up with the tech and we mastered it to an extent, and the next generation is doing a better job. Sometimes I'll be happy learning new stuff and learning new tech and everything. So that's a wrap on VidCon London. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Take care guys, and Sav out.
Thanks, Sav. Brilliant stuff. That's Savan Gandecha. Now, over the last few weeks, we've been chatting to the visual effects artists behind some of our favourite films of the last year. With the Academy Awards now upon us, what better way to finish off the series than with a look at the Oscar-nominated First Man?
Do you question whether the program's worth the cost? In money and in lives? What are the chances you're not coming back?
It's always tricky. I mean, I guess as a visual effects artist, you want your work to be seen, but for something like this, where it's documentary style, it really needs to fit with how the rest of the footage is shot. Paul Lambert, so I worked with him on Blade Runner. He was invited down to meet with Damien Chazelle to talk over the show First Man. And once they decided on trying to keep things in camera, Paul brought me on board to try and work out what's the best way of trying to do this. And Paul came up with the idea of having a giant LED screen. We'd get the footage ready, let's say for the X-15 sequence, get that footage running well. Damien wanted it to run as a full sequence, so it was something like 10,000 frames. And we ended up using TeraGen for the X-15 cloud sequence. I guess it simulates how light reacts in an Earth environment. When you're up in the top section of the atmosphere, just as Neil bounces off the atmosphere, you get that nice blue line of the horizon, which is mathematically correct for the Earth's atmosphere. So it was fantastic for us to be able to use that, because we had the real world numbers of his flight path and how high he went. So when you're looking through it, that's probably pretty close to what he saw when he was up there.
We have serious problems.
The special effects guys, JD Schwamm and his team, they had the gimbal motion base, and they worked out a way to get so when the gimbal tilted forward, you'd have the correct movement on the screen as well. It was almost, for certain scenes, it was almost like they were in a simulator. So the actors got something to work with as well. Rather than having a green screen, I suppose, and saying, right, you're diving down towards the Earth now, give us a reaction. He's actually there, he's in it, and it's tilting forward, and when you're sat there, it actually feels like you're in the plane going down. So NASA gave us access to a lot of archival footage from the Apollo program. So we're going to scour through most of that. There were a couple of things in there which I don't think have been seen before. There's one in particular which is a sort of a mid-shot of the Saturn V rocket. It's got the blast off. It's obviously shot a square aspect ratio. And we had to expand the sides left and right with a rocket thrust, which was quite interesting. It actually came together pretty quickly once we had the simulation working right, and then we just had to match the lighting and the look to the main footage. So the main footage in the middle stayed as it was. We ran it through our archival processing setup, and then blended it with the CG at the edges. And that shot, it was a great shot to work on and see come together.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Wow, brilliant. And we wish the team behind First Man and all the other Oscar nominees the very best of luck for this weekend's ceremony. That's it from us for this week. Don't forget that we're at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona next week, and in the meantime, you can follow us on social media. We live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and Twitter at BBC Click. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.